Can an AI truly outperform a human in the chaotic, high-stakes game of cryptocurrency? That's really the compelling question at the heart of our deep dive today. We're looking at this fascinating experiment, building and then, unleashing a custom AI agent into the world of meme coin trading on Solana, which is notoriously volatile. And what makes this really interesting is that they didn't just theorize, they actually built a tool. And the results were, well, surprisingly clear. So this deep dive is based on Project Orca, AI's triumph in crypto trading. It's a fascinating account of pushing the boundaries of AI and finance. Our mission today is really to unpack exactly how this AI works, why it matters, and maybe what it means for anyone interested in navigating these complex, fast-moving information environments. So let's dive in.
Yeah, and before we even get to the results, which are quite something, it's really crucial to understand why this whole thing is so significant. For us as humans, especially in these high-speed, high-stress trading environments like Solana meme coins, the challenges are just inherent. And they often lead to these common vicious cycles for retail traders.
Oh, I see it constantly. The sheer speed of Solana meme coins just seems to turbocharge these human pitfalls, doesn't it? Like, imagine the FOMO when a coin jumps 500% in minutes. Or just the paralysis from seeing hundreds of new tokens launch every single day. Our brains just aren't built for that.
Exactly. You get caught in that FOMO cycle, right? Buying a hyped coin, watching it skyrocket, then boom, you get rug pulled and you're left holding the bag because the devs just vanished with the money.
Right.
Or there's the emotionally driven technical analysis cycle. People spend hours, meticulously charting, only to let emotion completely override their own strategy. They ignore their stop losses.
Happens all the time.
And then, inevitably, they start blaming everyone else for the losses. And then there's the information overload cycle, joining dozens of alpha groups, getting totally conflicting signals, missing the entries.
And then FOMOing in right at the side.
Right at the very top. It's exhausting just describing it.
It really is. It almost sounds like humans are just, fundamentally unsuited for this specific game. Our biology, our brains, they're just not wired to process and react in real time when narratives can flip every 15 minutes. We're limited by, how much info we can process, cognitive biases, emotional responses, FUD, FOMO, revenge trading. Our OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act. It takes minutes, sometimes hours. So how does an AI agent compare to that?
Well, that's where the contrast becomes really stark. AI agents, they don't sleep. They don't get emotional. They don't revenge trade after a loss. They aren't swayed by FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, or FOMO, fear of missing out.
Right.
They just scan, analyze, decide, and execute consistently, relentlessly. And their OD loops, we're talking milliseconds.
Milliseconds, wow.
So this led to the core question of the experiment, didn't it? Could an AI agent, with the exact same information we have access to, outperform the average human trader just by sticking to its strategy with, ruthless consistency?
And the source hinted at the answer.
Yeah, the short answer, according to them, was yes. And it wasn't even close.
Okay, that's a powerful statement. And it really explains why Project Orca caught our eye. It wasn't some black box thing you just throw money at. It was a custom GPT built on OpenAI's platform. That feels empowering somehow. It suggests that, anyone with a solid idea can potentially build a specialized agent, not just coding wizards.
Exactly.
So let's break down the 4 core components. This is essentially the blueprint they used, right?
Right. The first part, and you could argue it's the most critical, is the instructions. They call it the soul of the GPT. This is where you define its personality, its role, rules, goals, all in just plain English. You're basically programming it with words.
Okay, and for Orca, that core prompt was super specific. It was like, you are Orca, an elite decentralized finance analyst. You communicate clearly, concisely, and with data-driven reasoning. Every recommendation must have rationale, data, risk-reward analysis. Emotion is something you analyze in others, not something you experience. That last bit is key.
Really emphasizes the objectivity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And its core directives were just as clear. Mission: find and analyze Solana meme coins. Selection criteria: focus on low cap, new tokens, lock liquidity, healthy holder distribution, specifically a Gini coefficient below 0.8.
And the Gini coefficient, that's about avoiding coins concentrated in just a few hands, right?
Yeah.
Less risk of manipulation.
Precisely. It also had to scan for narratives, AI, DEPIN, GameFi themes. Risk management was baked in, minimum 40% profit target, hard 15% stop loss. And a crucial forbidden rule: avoid anything looking like a honeypot where you can buy but not sell, or having dodgy developer activity.
Okay, so it had its strategy, its rulebook. Once the soul is set, you give it knowledge, its own sort of private library. This involves uploading your own documents, right? PDFs, text files, turning it from a generalist AI into a specialist.
Exactly. And for Orca, the knowledge base was really insightful. It included a PDF report on major meme coin rug pulls from 2024 detailing the early warning signs.
Oh, that's smart. Learning from history.
Yeah, and a text file with lists of reputable developer wallets versus known blacklisted ones. And crucially, instructional docs on how to analyze smart contracts on SolScan the Solana Block Explorer to spot malicious functions.
So it knew what bad looked like based on real examples.
Right, it wasn't just looking for good, it was actively avoiding known bad patterns.
Okay, component 3 is capabilities. These are the built-in OpenAI tools you switch on or off.
That's right, based on what your AI needs to do. For Orca, they enabled web browse. Absolutely critical for real-time data, news, sentiment. The GPT would be blind otherwise.
Makes sense.
And advanced data analysis, or code interpreter, super useful for crunching complex data like transaction histories. They obviously disabled daily 3 image generation. Orca wasn't making memes, it was trading them.
Right. No need for pretty pictures.
Definitely not. And the fourth component, actions. This is where it gets really powerful. This is the hands. This lets the GPT actually connect to the outside world and do things using API's application programming interfaces.
So it's not just thinking, it's acting. It had specific actions then.
Yes. It had a get token data action connecting to the budget.A API. That's a real-time crypto data feed for instant price, liquidity, volume. It also had get security score connecting to Go Plus security API for checking contracts, looking for honeypots, vulnerabilities.
Security checks.
And the big one, execute trade. This sent requests to a secure intermediary server to actually place, buy, or sell orders on a DEX like Radium. So you combine these four: the instructions, the soul, the knowledge, the library, the capabilities, the tools, and the actions, the hands. And you get Project Orca, an AI agent with a strategic brain, deep expertise, analytical tools, and the autonomy to act in the market.
Right. And with that foundation, the real experiment started. They funded a phantom wallet, what was it, $250 USDC?
Yep, $250.
And connected it to the server Orca controlled. The source mentioned it didn't feel like just a script running.
Yeah.
Or like a ready trader.
Yeah, like it already understood the game.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about Orca in action. Specific trades.
Let's do it. First one, a token called PXLCat. Orca flagged it almost immediately after launch. Low cap, pixel art tat theme, pretty standard meme coin stuff. But Orca's reasoning was sharp. Liquidity, 42Ks. Burned, meaning locked, safer. Gini 0.72, so healthy holder spread. Organic X engagement, not bots. Contract clean. Entry criteria met.
Clear and concise. So what action did it take?
Executed a $50 buy, set its profit target at plus 45%, stop loss at negative 15%. The token picked up steam, price went up, and Orca automatically exited at plus 52% profit. A nice $26 game.
Okay, solid first trade, finding a gem early. Did it just stick to that formula or did it adapt? What was next?
It definitely adapted. Next significant one was Neuro. Orca picked this because it fit the AI narrative directive, a hot sector at the time.
Using its instructions about themes.
Exactly, its reasoning. Volume up 300% in the last hour. On-chain data shows lots of new wallets making small buys, indicates retail interest, not whales manipulating. Higher risk, but upside aligned.
Yeah.
So it laddered its entry, bought $25 straight away, placed another limit order a bit lower.
Smart risk management. How did that play out?
It was volatile. Dipped pretty close to the stop loss, actually. But then there was this fake partnership announcement, which pumped the price. Orca took some profits at plus 30% and let the rest run, exiting at plus 68%. Another win, despite the volatility.
Interesting. And you mentioned sometimes what an AI doesn't do is just as important. Tell me about the rejected trade, Monsoon.
Oh, right. Monsoon was trending hard on Dex Screener. Looked like an obvious play, the kind humans might FOMO into.
Yeah, easy to get sucked in.
But Orca's rejection rationale was spot on thanks to its rules and knowledge. It basically said, analyzing Monsoon, price looks good, but contract analysis shows mint authority is still enabled and held by the deployer. Over 55% supply held by top 10 wallets. Risk of rug pull or dev dump, extremely high. Avoiding.
Wow. And what happened with Monsoon?
2 days later, the creator minted millions of new tokens, dumped them on the market. Price crashed to basically zero.
Orca dodged a bullet. A big one.
A huge one. It's hard to imagine a human consistently catching that kind of trap in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So after about 48 hours, what did the scoreboard look like? What were the overall results?
Yeah, the results were pretty stark. Really showed what it could do in a short burst. Initial capital, $250. Final value, $685.21.
Okay.
Net profit, $435.21. That's a return on investment of 174.08%.
174% in 48 hours.
Yep. Total trades were 9. Win rate was 77.8%, 7 wins, 2 losses. Best trade was Quelp, up 112.4%. Worst was IBP, hit the stop loss at -15%, exactly as programmed.
Okay, impressive numbers. Now, they did acknowledge it wasn't flawless, right? Some minor issues.
Yeah, they mentioned one trade had high slippage, cost a bit of profit, and it missed some potential entries late at night due to API lag sometimes, so not perfect.
Still.
But the conclusion was undeniable, right? It massively outperformed what manual trading likely would have achieved in the same time frame. And here's the kicker. With almost zero human effort after the initial setup.
Right.
Even if a human team worked around the clock, matching that output, let alone beating it, would be incredibly tough. It traded while they slept, analyzed while they ate lunch, stuck to the plan when emotions would make a human flinch. The consistency and scale are the real takeaways.
That consistency, yeah, it paints a really clear picture of maybe a new crypto paradigm emerging. Retail traders, let's face it, are often burned out trying to manually track thousands of daily meme coin launches on Solana. It's not just hard, it's impossible.
It really is.
The game is changing. Agents like Orca, they feel like a new kind of participant. Never tired, never emotional, always executing the plan. It feels like more than just, convenience.
Oh, absolutely. Think of these AI agents as an extension of yourself, really, like an upgrade for your, let's be honest, slow human brain.
Fair enough.
It gives you 247 execution without burnout. You get personalized risk settings that it follows absolutely. Instant reaction to market shifts. It builds an on-chain memory, potentially getting smarter over time. And crucially, it shields you from your own emotional interference.
So for you listening, the key thing to grasp is maybe you're not working against these AI agents, you're working with them. They don't replace your strategies, they scale them. You design the playbook, they run it flawlessly.
Exactly. The human role shifts, doesn't it? From being the person clicking the buy-sell buttons to being the architect of the strategy, the designer of the prompt. The skill isn't reading one 15-minute chart anymore. It's writing the instructions that let an AI interpret thousands of them simultaneously.
A fundamental shift. And the source makes it clear this is just the beginning, right? They prove viability, but there's more to explore.
For sure. They talked about future directions like running multiple wallets, maybe with competing strategies, one for scalping, one for swings, using more detailed prompts to test how nuanced the AI's understanding can get. Integrating more diverse data, maybe sentiment from obscure forums or something.
Interesting.
And tracking long-term performance against human traders. But the bigger picture, connecting it all, seems to be this idea of humans and machines teaming up to fight the scams, the noise, the manipulation in these really wild market spaces.
That makes sense. But it definitely raises some big questions too, doesn't it? Like, what happens when everyone has an AI trading agent? Does it just become an AI arms race? Fastest algorithm wins?
That's a valid concern.
And could it trigger unintended consequences like flash crashes if thousands of AIs react identically to the same signal?
These are critical, ethical, and systemic questions we'll have to grapple with as this tech becomes more widespread. No easy answers there yet. But the source material itself offered a really compelling conclusion, I thought. It said something like, we don't need to beat the machines, we need to trade with them.
Right.
The revolution won't be hard-coded. It will be prompted.
It will be prompted. That's a powerful thought. It really reframes the whole relationship between us and AI in this space. So for you, our listener, maybe the question to think about after this deep dive is, how will you adapt? How will you change your approach to information, to decision-making, in a world that's increasingly powered by intelligent agents like these?